Picture this. I'm standing at the edge of a crowded street in Chicago, the city's heartbeat pulsing through the soles of my shoes as horns blare and neon signs flicker above. The air is thick with the scent of street food and exhaust, a gritty perfume that's become my everyday. I'm Sophie, 31, navigating the chaos of urban life with a ring on my finger and a man by my side who makes even the hardest days feel softer. My husband, Ethan, 34, is the kind of partner who can turn a mundane evening into something worth remembering. He's a freelance graphic designer, always hunched over his tablet with a furrowed brow, crafting worlds I can only dream of understanding. Meanwhile, I'm a project coordinator at a mid-size marketing firm, juggling deadlines and egos with a smile I've perfected over years of late-night meetings. Ethan and I have been married for 5 years, building a life that looks picture-perfect from the outside. Our apartment in the heart of the city is small, but ours, filled with mismatched furniture and memories of lazy Sunday mornings. He's never minded my long hours at the office, those nights when I stumble in past midnight, my eyes bleary from staring at spreadsheets. If anything, he's supportive to a fault, always ready with a warm mug of tea or a quiet nod when I vent about a project gone sideways. And oh, the way he teases me about my coworkers. There's a playful glint in his eye when he asks who I've been brainstorming with, tossing out names like he's trying to catch me off guard. But it's never jealousy, just his way of staying connected to a part of my world he doesn't see. I laugh it off every time, assuring him it's all just shop talk. Speaking of work, there's Adam, 29, one of those people who walks into a room and commands attention without even trying. He's charming, ambitious, always spearheading the big projects at the firm with a confidence that's hard to ignore. Then there's Mark, 35, our senior analyst who keeps to himself but has this intense energy, like he's always calculating something no one else can see. And Lila, 27, a graphic designer with a bold streak, her ideas as vibrant as the tattoos peeking out from under her sleeves. They're part of the daily grind, faces I see more than my own reflection some weeks. Tonight, though, I'm not at the office. I'm home, slumped at our tiny dining table, the smell of garlic from our homemade pasta lingering in the air. The TV hums softly in the background, some late-night talk show neither of us is really watching. I'm bone-tired, my shoulders aching from hours hunched over my laptop, coordinating a campaign that's due way too soon. Ethan sits across from me, his plate already cleared, a glass of cheap red wine in his hand. He looks at me with those warm hazel eyes, the kind that always seem to see right through my exhaustion, and I can't help but feel a flicker of warmth under his gaze. But then, as I'm about to sink deeper into that comfort, my phone buzzes on the table, shattering the moment. It's a text from Ethan, even though he's right across from me. I raise an eyebrow, and he just shrugs with a small, cryptic smile. The message reads, "Adam needs you at the office. Important project. Can you go?" I let out a long sigh, the weight of the day pressing down harder on my shoulders. I'd been looking forward to crashing on the couch, maybe stealing a few quiet moments with Ethan before sleep claimed me. But duty calls, as it always does, and I can't ignore the urgency in the way Ethan phrased it. I nod reluctantly, and he gives me a reassuring look, like he knows how much I'm dreading this. So here I am, driving through the quiet, dimly lit streets of Chicago, the city's usual chaos dialed down to a low hum at this hour. The radio plays a soft, indie tune, the kind of melody that feels like it's wrapping itself around my thoughts, pulling them in different directions. I can't stop replaying Ethan's words in my mind, how he called it an important project, with that odd, almost knowing tone. It's not like him to be so vague, and it gnaws at me, mixing with the exhaustion already clouding my head. My hands grip the steering wheel a little tighter, irritation bubbling up at the thought of dragging myself back to work after hours. But beneath that, there's a thread of responsibility tugging at me. If Adam needs help, I can't just say no. Not when I've built my reputation on being the one who shows up, no matter the time. The streets are nearly empty as I weave through the familiar grid of the city, the glow of streetlights casting long, flickering shadows across the dashboard. My mind wanders to Adam, to the way he always seems to carry this effortless authority, like he's got everything under control. I wonder what could be so urgent that it couldn't wait until morning. The thought lingers, heavy and unanswered, as I pull into the office building's parking lot around 8:30 p.m. The lot is a ghost town, just a handful of cars scattered across the asphalt, their owners probably burning the midnight oil like me. I park near the entrance, the engine ticking as it cools, and take a deep breath before stepping out into the chilly night air. The building looms above, a monolith of glass and steel, its windows mostly dark except for a few stubborn lights on the upper floors. I make my way to the elevator, my footsteps echoing in the empty lobby. The ride up to the 12th floor feels slower than usual, the hum of the machinery the only sound in the confined space. When the doors finally slide open, I'm met with an eerie stillness. The office, usually a hive of chatter and clicking keyboards, is silent as a tomb. Only a few dim lights flicker in the distance, casting long shadows across the cubicles as I step out of the elevator. My heels click against the polished floor, the sound unnervingly loud in the quiet. I head toward the conference room where Adam usually holds late-night strategy sessions, my mind still tangled with questions about why I'm here. The door is slightly ajar, a sliver of light spilling into the hallway, and I push it open with a hesitant hand. There he is, Adam, sitting at the head of the long table, papers and a laptop spread out in front of him. He looks up as I enter, his sharp eyes catching mine with an intensity that makes my breath hitch for a moment. A small, almost unreadable smile tugs at the corner of his mouth as he gestures for me to sit. I settle into the chair across from him, dropping my bag on the floor with a soft thud. We start discussing the project, diving into timelines and deliverables, the usual grind. But something feels off. His tone is different tonight, smoother, like he's choosing his words with extra care. He leans forward, elbows on the table, his gaze never wavering from mine. Then, his voice drops to a near whisper, sending a shiver down my spine as he says, "Ethan told me you wouldn't mind a little extra help tonight." The words hang in the air, heavy and loaded with something I can't quite grasp. My brow furrows, confusion tightening my chest as I tilt my head and ask, "What do you mean by that?" Before I can even process the weight of his statement, Adam reaches across the table, his movements slow but deliberate. His fingers brush through my hair, a gesture so unexpected, so intimate, that I freeze. My mind goes blank for a split second, 1,000 questions crashing into each other. What is happening? Why isn't my first instinct to pull away? I'm caught in this strange limbo, part of me stunned into stillness, the other part curious, in a way I can't admit out loud. I feel the warmth of his hand, the faint, musky scent of his cologne lingering in the space between us, and my heart starts pounding so hard I'm sure he can hear it. My skin prickles where his fingers linger, a sensation that's both foreign and electric, stirring something deep inside me I didn't expect to feel. I'm still trying to wrap my head around this, my breath shallow, when I hear the faint creak of a door behind me. My head snaps toward the sound, and my stomach drops like a stone as I see Mark and Lila stepping out of the adjacent meeting room. Their expressions are hard to read, a mix of intensity and something else. Something that makes the air in the room feel thicker, heavier. They approach without a word, their steps measured, almost synchronized. Mark's hand lands on my shoulder, firm and unyielding, while Lila's fingers graze my waist, a light but deliberate touch that sends a jolt through me. I'm overwhelmed, my thoughts spiraling into chaos. What is this? Why aren't I pushing them away? My breath hitches, the room suddenly feeling too small, their presence closing in around me like a storm I can't escape. Every touch feels invasive yet strangely thrilling, like I'm teetering on the edge of something I shouldn't want. My skin burns where their hands linger, a heat that spreads through me, igniting conflicting emotions I can't name. I'm caught in this surreal haze, my mind screaming that this is wrong, that I'm betraying Ethan in a way I never imagined I could. But there's another part of me, quieter yet undeniable, that revels in the forbidden rush of it all. It's like I'm watching myself from a distance, unable to stop as I let it unfold, letting their closeness pull me under. The guilt gnaws at me, sharp and relentless, but it's drowned out by the intoxicating pull of the moment. The way their touches seem to unravel something I've kept buried for too long. My heart races faster with every passing second, my senses heightened to an almost painful degree. The faint hum of the air conditioning, the subtle rustle of fabric as their hands move, the way the dim light catches the edges of their faces, it all sharpens into a hyper-real clarity that makes my pulse thunder in my ears. I'm trapped in this whirlwind of sensation and doubt, my body reacting in ways my mind can't justify. The tension in the room is a living thing, coiling tighter around us, and I'm losing myself in it, drowning in the forbidden pull of their nearness. My breath comes in short, uneven gasps, and I can feel the heat rising to my cheeks, a flush of something I'm not ready to name. But then, a shadow shifts in my peripheral vision, a subtle movement that cuts through the haze like a blade. My eyes dart toward the door, and my heart slams to a stop in my chest. There, framed by the dim glow of the hallway light, stands Ethan. His silhouette is unmistakable, tall and still, like a statue carved from the darkness itself. I blink, half convinced I'm imagining him, but no, he's real and he's watching. My gaze locks onto his, and the world narrows to just that connection, a silent thread stretched taut between us. In his hand, his phone is raised, a tiny red light blinking steadily at the top. He's recording. The realization hits me like a punch, stealing the air from my lungs. How long has he been standing there? How much has he seen? The room falls into a suffocating silence, the kind that presses down on you until you can't hear anything but the frantic beat of your own heart. Adam, Mark, and Lila seem to sense the shift, their hands retreating just slightly, their bodies easing back as if they've been waiting for this exact moment. I'm frozen in place, pinned by the weight of Ethan's stare. My mind is a storm of questions, each one louder than the last. Why is he filming this? Why isn't he storming in, shouting, demanding answers? What does he want with that video? I can't move, can't speak, can't even think straight as the implications claw at me. My cheeks are burning now, the heat of shame and confusion spreading across my skin like wildfire. My hands tremble where they rest on the table, the cool surface doing nothing to steady me. A cold sweat prickles at the back of my neck, sliding down my spine in an icy trickle that makes me shiver despite the warmth flooding my face. I want to look away from Ethan, to break this unbearable eye contact, but I can't. His face is a mask at first, unreadable in the half-light, his features obscured by shadow. But then, slowly, almost deliberately, a smile creeps across his lips. It's not a smile of anger or hurt. It's something else. Something satisfied, like he's just confirmed a suspicion he's held for a long time. That smile sends a fresh wave of dread crashing over me, mingling with the confusion already churning in my gut. I try to speak, to force out some kind of explanation or question, but my voice is trapped in my throat, a lump of raw emotion I can't swallow down. My lips part, but nothing comes out, just a shaky breath that betrays how rattled I am. Ethan takes a step closer, his movements calm, measured, the phone still steady in his grip. There's no rage in his posture, no betrayal flashing in his hazel eyes. Instead, there's an eerie composure, a quiet control that unnerves me more than any outburst could. He's not reacting the way I expected, the way I feared he would if he ever caught me in a moment like this. And that terrifies me. What does he know that I don't? What game is he playing? My thoughts spiral faster, grasping at fragments of memory, trying to piece together how we got here. That text he sent, urging me to come to the office for an important project. The cryptic tone in his voice when he mentioned Adam. The way he seemed so unbothered by my late nights at work, always encouraging me to go, to stay connected with my team. Was this all part of some plan? Has he been waiting for this, setting the stage for a moment just like this? As Ethan stands there, just inside the doorway, the phone now lowered to his side, the silence in the room feels like it's suffocating me. I can barely breathe, my chest tight with a cocktail of emotions I can't untangle. Then he speaks, his voice cutting through the stillness like a blade, eerily calm and measured, each word deliberate. Now I can show this whenever I want. My breath catches, a sharp gasp that I can't hold back. The full weight of his words crashes over me like a tidal wave, pulling me under. This wasn't some impulsive moment he stumbled upon and decided to capture. No, this was planned, orchestrated by him from the start. Every piece of the puzzle I've been scrambling to put together suddenly clicks into place with a sickening clarity. He wanted this to happen. He set the stage, and I walked right into it. I'm drowning in a flood of feelings, each one sharper than the last. Shock numbs my limbs, making my fingers tremble where they grip the edge of the table. Betrayal stabs deep, a raw ache in my chest as I realize the man I've shared my life with, the man I thought I knew, has been pulling strings I didn't even see. But there's something else. Something unexpected. A strange sense of relief washing over me. He's not furious. There's no yelling, no accusations, no storm of anger I'd braced myself for if this ever came to light. Instead, there's this unsettling calm, a quiet that's somehow more terrifying than any outburst could be. I look into his hazel eyes, searching for something, anything, to explain this, and I see it. Not rage, but a twisted kind of satisfaction. It's like he's been planning this moment for a long time, savoring every second of watching it unfold. His gaze holds mine, unblinking, and I feel exposed in a way that goes beyond the compromising position he just recorded. The conference room feels smaller now, the dim light casting harsh shadows across the long table cluttered with papers and laptops. Ethan stands framed by the doorway, his posture relaxed, almost casual, as if he's just dropped by to chat. The phone dangles loosely in his hand, a silent threat, its tiny red light no longer blinking, but still a reminder of what it captured. Behind me, Adam, Mark, and Lila are statues, their presence heavy but motionless, watching this play out with an eerie stillness. I can't tell if they're surprised or if they've been in on this too, their faces unreadable in the half-light. The air is thick with tension, the faint hum of the air conditioning the only sound beyond my own uneven breathing. I can still feel the ghost of their touches, the heat they left behind on my skin, and it makes my stomach churn with a mix of guilt and something darker, something I'm not ready to name. My mind races back to all the times Ethan asked about my colleagues. His tone always light, teasing, as if it were just idle curiosity. "So, what's Adam working on these days?" he'd say with a smirk over dinner, or, "Lila seems like she's got some wild ideas, huh?" while we lounged on the couch. I'd laugh, brush it off, never thinking twice about the way his eyes lingered on me, searching for a reaction. Now, those moments take on a sinister edge. replaying in my head like a twisted highlight reel. Every casual question, every playful jab. Was it all part of this? Was he testing me, gauging how far I'd go, waiting for the right moment to spring this trap? I feel like a fool, blindsided by how well he hid his intentions behind that warm, supportive facade I trusted so completely. And yet, as I sit here, pinned under the weight of his gaze, I realize something unsettling about myself. There's no shame in me, not the way there should be. I don't feel the burning humiliation I expected to feel, caught in a moment that could unravel everything I've built with him. Instead, there's a numb acceptance settling over me. A cold realization that I've been played. And I'm not even sure I mind, as I'm still reeling from Ethan's words. That chilling declaration hanging in the air like a storm cloud ready to break. My legs feel unsteady as I push myself up from the chair, the scrape of its legs against the floor sounding too loud in the oppressive quiet of the conference room. Ethan gestures toward the door with a subtle tilt of his head, his expression still unreadable, that faint, unsettling smile lingering on his lips. I don't say a word, can't find any to say, as I grab my bag and follow him out, leaving Adam, Mark, and Lila behind without a backward glance. Their presence lingers on my skin, a phantom weight I can't shake, but I force myself to focus on the sound of my own footsteps echoing in the hallway as I trail behind Ethan. The silence between us is a living thing, heavy and suffocating as we step into the elevator. The doors slide shut with a soft ding, trapping us in this small, mirrored box. I catch a glimpse of myself in the reflection, my face pale, eyes wide, lips pressed into a tight line. Ethan stands beside me, his posture relaxed, hands in his pockets, as if we're just heading out for a late-night coffee run. I want to scream, to demand answers, but my throat is still tight, my thoughts a tangled mess. The hum of the elevator descending is the only sound, each floor we pass marked by a faint beep, counting down to the ground level like a timer on something I can't name. My fingers clutch the strap of my bag, knuckles white, as I try to steady the storm inside me. When the doors finally open to the lobby, the cool, sterile air hits me first, a sharp contrast to the stifling tension of the elevator. We walk through the empty space, our steps out of sync, mine hesitant and his deliberate. Pushing through the glass doors to the parking lot, the cold night air slams into me like a physical force, biting at my cheeks and cutting through the fog in my mind. I take a deep breath, the crispness of it grounding me, if only for a moment. The distant sound of traffic hums from the streets beyond, a reminder of the world moving on outside this bubble of chaos I've stumbled into. The parking lot is still nearly deserted, just a few lonely cars under the flickering sodium lights, casting long, jagged shadows across the asphalt. My breath fogs in the chilly air, little puffs of vapor that disappear as quickly as they form, and I wrap my arms around myself, not sure if I'm shivering from the cold or from everything that just happened. Ethan doesn't say anything as we approach his car, the familiar dark sedan parked near the edge of the lot. He unlocks it with a click of the key fob, the sound sharp in the stillness, and I slide into the passenger seat without a word. The interior smells faintly of his cologne, a scent that used to comfort me but now twists something in my chest. He gets in beside me, starts the engine with a low rumble, and pulls out of the lot, his movements smooth and unhurried. I steal a glance at him, his profile illuminated by the passing streetlights, and notice the faintest smirk tugging at the corner of his mouth. It's not a grin of triumph, not exactly, but something quieter, more calculated, like he's already 3 steps ahead in a game I didn't even know I was playing. My stomach churns, a mix of dread and unanswered questions, and I clench my hands in my lap, nails digging into my palms as I try to find the courage to speak. Finally, after what feels like an eternity of silence, with only the hum of the engine and the occasional honk from the city streets filling the void, I force the words out, my voice quieter than I mean it to be. Why, Ethan? Why did you set this up? Why did you film everything? I can't bring myself to say more, to name the charged, tangled moments he captured, but the implication hangs heavy between us. My heart thuds in my chest as I wait for his answer, my eyes fixed on his face, searching for any crack in that composed exterior. He doesn't respond immediately, leaving my question hanging in the air. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment if you enjoyed this story. This will help us create more engaging stories for you.